I don't think it was spring cleaning either. No, there was plastic on the floor. Someone was definitely here during the night.
It seems as though this theft was performed by someone now under Glitchtrap's control. Perhaps Jeremy, a man manipulated by Glitchtrap before he would later move on to using Vanny. These stolen parts were taken somewhere, but where? Well, this catches us up to the story of Security Breach, where we know Glitchtrap used many of the old animatronic scrap parts to resurrect himself with the help of a brainwashed Vanny. We also know that Glamrock Freddy was used by Vanny to clear a path to this old location.
I know what this is. I have been here before. She brought me here. I found myself for the first time when I cleared the path. I did not want to, but I had no choice.
You see, the Pizzaplex in Security Breach was constructed over the ruins of William Afton's final resting place, the pizzeria from FNAF 6. So it makes sense he would use Vanny to resurrect him there. It's hidden away, private, and a place where his soul is tied. However, the same can be said for the spirits of the children also freed during the fire. They all ended up here before moving on, and so when their various parts were brought back here, they also began to reconstruct. Unbeknownst to Afton, until it was too late. And so, with the origins of the blob explained, we can now move on to the final segment of this video, where we establish why it exists. While Vanny required some of the stolen animatronic parts to aid her in Afton's resurrection, many of them were not needed, and so now lay dormant in the depths of a ruined pizzeria. For example, the many animatronic heads we see attached to the body of the blob. As the site contains the remnant of the deceased children, then it seems logical to conclude that this dark energy would return to the vessels they previously haunted. For example, Elizabeth's remnant to Circus Baby, and Charlotte's to the puppet. However, as the animatronics were no longer functional and instead left lying around in pieces, the souls that returned to them couldn't actually move, and so they festered within the remains of their old vessels and produced a darkness, a physical manifestation of their hatred and malice toward the man who not only wronged them in life, but also escaped them and his rightful punishment in the afterlife. As this darkness grew like a tumour, it began to spread between the animatronic remains, fusing them together into a mass of writhing tentacles, where each of the spirits within battles for control, but all wish for the same endgame, to locate and retrieve William Afton. We encounter the blob during the final boss battle with a newly rebirthed Afton, now in his burn trap form. It finally manages to move from its place of rebirth and works its way into the very foundation of the building like a giant weed, emerging from sewer ducts and cracks in walls. Eventually, upon locating Afton in his new burn trap form, the blob, and by extension William's victims, reclaim him once more and drag him back down to hell, just as they are once again engulfed in flames, the Pizzaplex burning to the ground once more. We can only assume William is returned to his personal hell, where the souls of his victims can torment him forevermore, or at least until he returns once again. After all, he always comes back, right? And with that, we come to the end of this look at the very peculiar animatronic, the Blob. I hope you enjoyed this video and found my interpretation of this bizarre creation in FNAF lore both entertaining and informative. If you did, remember to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more horror-related content.